Well, I think it's about time I done a video on this little machine. This is a 1985 Toyota Toyoace. It is a G15 model, 1.5 ton, and a friend of mine owns this. He's had it for the past 2 years. The backstory on it is it was imported in 1992, I think it was. A builder in Limerick had it for well over 20 years, and in fairness he looked after it pretty well considering the age of the machine. And then another man bought it then, and he was thinking of turning it into a little recovery truck. He was going to take the body off and put a little beaver tail body on it, and plans obviously changed there. And then I seen it on Facebook. I told my mate Kenneth about it, and we went and bought her, and he's been using her pretty much ever since. It's a very, very useful machine, as it has a tipper conversion on it. See all the RAM, and it's powered by a starter motor, basically. Reverse polarity, I think, is the way it works. It's a pretty rare machine here. There was believed to be only 2 in Ireland. There's probably more now since, anyway. I did see a crew cab one at one point being broke on Dundee, but otherwise I haven't seen any other ones. It does, however, have some kind of a roof issue here. The whole thing has been fiberglassed up on top. More than likely there was rust in it, and it was a quick fix to get through the DOE at the time. But we have secured another roof to go onto it off of a 00 cab. So that's the main big job that needs to be done on it. Is the roof will have to be all the spot will have to be drilled out, and the whole roof skin, and probably the inner supports now will have to be changed as well. The bit of black paint on it, I just sprayed it on the last day to use up a bit of paint, because I was painting the battery box that kind of got made for it, as the old battery box was rotten. So we got this one made up. Battery's now secure. It's inside, it's nice and neat looking. The body needs a good bit of work, alright. It might be best to even just replace these side panels than try and restore them. If anyone that follows my YouTube knows of one of these bodies that has been removed from a later Toyoace or Dyna import, send me a message, as I think that might be the best route than trying to restore these. The bed itself isn't too bad. It probably had a floor or two in its time, but otherwise I think it's fairly good. What else is there to say about it? It's a 2 litre 2L, I think, is what's in this non-turbo 5-speed. It won't break any speed limits, but it'll get you where you're going reliably and with the least amount of fuel being used. A little look inside. Unfortunately it is scruffy because it is a working vehicle. So the dash and everything's still in real good order in it. You know, there's nothing catastrophically damaged, but there was something stuck on there at one point. The mileage on it is 246,720 kilometers. The Hyundai radio definitely has to go at some point. We did actually have an issue with this clock as well that was fitted by one of the previous owners as well. Probably the builder that had it. It was messing with one of the fuses that was stopping it from starting. The wires were connected into that. Once that was removed, it was fine. Kind of a similar situation to what happened with the Toyoace before as well. We spent quite a while there diagnosing that. Now you can see the rust even up around the windscreen here. It's all starting to come through. So it definitely wants a roof skin. There's the VIN tag. It's known as an LY60. So it is. It's number 427 off the production line. So it's quite an early model. The plan is to eventually restore it. Like, we have some pictures of this model, brand new, and the plan is to restore it looking like the one. It has number 5 on the picture, so I'm guessing it's number 5 off the production line. But like I said, the plan is to restore it like that. So basically, the machine is going back completely original, as it is pretty much. The only thing that's staying obviously is the battery box modification and the tipping setup. I'd like to try and get the original. There's usually a kind of an over fender here as well, and go back to the original style fenders and all that, if we can. So, like I said before, if anyone knows of one of these bodies that's been taken off, maybe a fresh import or something, let me know. He went for the original rivet style plates, which would have been correct for 1985 and 86. And because it's such a short, there's only 6 digits in the reg, it kind of works, you know, having that gap in between like an old Irish registration. Move my straps. And here's the engine, the 2L, basically the same as what was in a Toyoace at the same time. Like, this one doesn't even have power steering either, which we're looking into retrofitting. A very reliable engine, very simple engine. You know, you can usually leave these sitting for donkey's years. Put a battery to them, up they go, no problem. And that's her for the most part. I don't think there's much else to show. It will be a lovely machine when it is restored, which I'm definitely looking forward to seeing. I'm actually looking into buying a sandblaster at the present moment, so we can hopefully blast the chassis, and I'll be repainting epoxy mastic black, which is what I painted the battery box cover in. This really could do with another coat, being honest now as well. I was just kind of took a notion at the time and painted it because it was in primer for a long time. You know. We'd also like to look at either restoring this timber or replacing it as well. Gives the machine a bit of character. I originally cleaned up the front end of her as well. I polished up the stainless steel parts of the wiper arms. I painted this grill a while ago as well. Does need new tabs. The tabs are broke on this side. And a local fella blasted the bumper and repainted it as well. He actually did the wheel rims as well, painted them black. The bigger models of this would have had black wheels originally, so I think that's what he was going for when Kenneth decided to get them painted. So I think that's all it. I have everything covered. Stay tuned for future videos, because there definitely will be more on this machine, as well as the Toyoace, because the shed is now being started out to do the work on the Toyoace as well as this, and some other projects we have. The camper van as well, there, a Mercedes camper van. So please God, this summertime there'll be a lot of stuff getting finally sorted out, you know.